Good morning, how are we all? Welcome to Warriors of Attraction on a Monday, believe it or not. No, we're not on Thursday, we're on a Monday. This is a one-off special for a Monday evening, so we're going to kickstart this week. And we are going to start by talking about the power of words. So, there's a saying, sticks and stones may break my bones, but words can never hurt. So we're going to dive into that statement as well. But first, we're going to play a YouTube video, as always, of course. We don't hold the rights to this video also. So, it's called Stay in the Fight. And while tuning in, please share, like, comment, you name it. And we'll see you soon. So, I'm going to share my screen now.
Most of us fail in life because we're afraid of what everyone around you is thinking. That's 100% truth. So we live by the narrative of other people. What's funny about failure is we're afraid to fail a lot of times because we're afraid to get those people telling us that we're not good, that we shouldn't try again. This is how I look at it. First of all, those people are going to be there. And 99.9% of those people who are in your ear after you fail haven't even tried what you're attempting to do. So that's the first thing. Look at who's talking to you negatively first. And failure is the only way to grow. The only way to grow for me. Everything I've ever succeeded in, 3 hell weeks. Everything, Ranger School, everything I've ever failed, I failed miserably so many times. But what you do with that failure is you go back, you learn from it. And not just learn from it, I call it the live autopsy. Where you get all this stuff, you get a scratched piece of paper, and you start writing down. Don't even acknowledge the fact that you failed. You're looking at it almost like the daggone light bulb. Like, okay, this went wrong, that went wrong, that went wrong. And then you go back into it. All failure is a tool for success. It shows you how to get there if you're willing to stay in the fight. That's the hard part, though. After failure, all these voices start to say, no, we're not good enough, we're not good enough, we're not good enough. No, we haven't tried enough. And that is so true. We just haven't tried enough. But yeah, without failure, I wouldn't be who I am today.
When things are going bad, there's going to be some good that will come from it. Mission got canceled? Good. We can focus on another one. Didn't get promoted? Good. More time to get better. Didn't get funded? Good. We own more of the company. Didn't get the job you wanted? Good. Go out, gain more experience, build a better resume. Got injured? Good. Needed a break from training. Got beat? Good. We learned. Unexpected problems? Good. We have an opportunity to figure out a solution. That's it. When things are going bad, don't get all bummed out, don't get startled, don't get frustrated. No. Take that issue, take that setback, take that problem and turn it into something good. Go forward. If you can say the word good, it means you're still alive. It means you're still breathing. It means you've still got some fight left in you. So get up, dust off, reload, recalibrate, re-engage, and go out on the attack.
It's all right to fail as long as you fail forward. It's all right, but I need you to have heart because there's some things you just can't get without perseverance.
And here's Andrea.
Hey,
How are
great
you?
video. I'm good.
Oh, you love that.
I loved it. I had to write down a few little excerpts from it so I can have it for affirmations for myself and others.
Of course. Absolutely. So, the power of words.
Yes.
Now, we have got a terrific guest all the way from Florida.
Yes.
Terrific. Who we both know.
Yes.
Yes, Cynthia Howell. So all I've got to say is, let's bring her on.
Bring her on.
See you soon.
Okay.
Welcome back and welcome, Cynthia.
Hey, Cynthia.
Hey, y'all, as we say down south. Hey, y'all. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank
Good
you
to
for
be
being
here.
here.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
I was looking for my cowboy hat, but I can't find it.
What are you looking for?
I was looking for my cowboy hat.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's really cute.
It is.
Oh, you're going to have to take a picture and post it on social media so I can see this
I
cowboy.
wore it. No, I didn't wear it last week. I wore it 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, 2 weeks ago.
I want a cowboy hat. I have a few fedoras, but I think a cowboy hat would be in good taste for me.
Awesome.
And the boots, but I can't have the hat without the boots.
Awesome.
Yeah, you gotta have the boots.
That's right.
Oh, you have
Of
to, don't
course.
you? I keep saying to Kerry that I want the boots, and the leather jacket, but she's like, no. Yeah, it's all right. Anyway, onto the show. Because I did say to Dale I was going to we're going to warm the crowd up for him. So because he's on tomorrow, so there you go. So let's do it.
Let's do it.
Right,
Let's
let's
do
do
it.
it.
Yes. So Andrea, Cynthia. For people that don't know who you are, just tell us a little bit about who you are, where you're from, and what you do.
Absolutely. Well, as you can see, my name is Cynthia Mobley Howell, and I am the founder and CEO of How Well Are You? Notice the play on words with the name. And I am a mental health advocate. I became a mental health advocate because I am one of 4 siblings. I had 3 older siblings, all brothers, who all suffered from severe mental health issues. Lost my oldest brother to suicide. My middle brother has been missing over 2 decades. We have not seen or heard from him. He's schizophrenic. By the way, my oldest brother, who committed suicide, was bipolar. And as I said, my middle brother, who has been missing for over 2 decades, that we haven't seen or heard from, is schizophrenic. And my youngest brother is schizophrenic, and he has been institutionalized in a facility for the criminally insane for the past 34, almost 35 years. So my passion as a mental health advocate obviously stems from being raised in a household with siblings with severe mental illness. However, I'm here. I made it out to tell the story and to educate, to inspire, and to let others know that have or experiencing it, whether you have a mental illness or whether you have a loved one that has a mental illness. I want everybody to know that you can still live a productive, a fulfilling, and an ordinary life. My passion inside of that passion is for early intervention. I believe that early intervention is key in being able to manage those symptoms. I am a minister, I'm a best-selling author, and I am also a certified life coach. And I have 2 books on the horizon, and we may get into that a little bit later. So that's kind of what I do, but who I am absolutely a child of the Most High.
Andrea?
Well, welcome. I'm glad that you're here today. And wow, that's usually what can spring some of our passions, right? The things that we face and deal with in our own lives. And I think for me, it's a way to be there and or be what you needed. You know what I mean? To be what
Yeah,
you might have needed, to be that for
yeah,
other people.
yes.
So kudos to everything you do. Oh my goodness, how well are you? Yes, I'm digging the words.
All
Play on
right.
words.
Yes, ma'am.
I'm
Yes,
gonna
ma'am. You
come
know,
look you up too. I
yeah, look
wanna
me up.
check it out.
I'm, as I always say, I'm Googleable. All you got to do is type in the Google search Cynthia Mobley Howell, and bam, there I am.
Boom. There you are.
Exactly. Yeah, that's how it goes. That's how
Easy.
it goes. I'm going to enjoy having you two here. I really am.
Yeah, I'm already feeling the energy. I love the energy, and let
Yes.
me just say, I am like so. I just love you, Adam. I just love you and Carrie and the kids. I see the pictures, and I wouldn't be surprised about what might pop up with Adam, because Adam is just Adam. And that's one thing that I love about you, Adam. You are you. And I love it when people are their authentic
Mm-hmm.
selves. Because when I run into
Mm-hmm.
people, one of the things that if you run into someone who knows me from way back when, and they will say Cynthia Mobley Howell or Cynthia Mobley at the time, what about Cynthia Mobley is the one thing that stands out. And people will always say, she is always who she is. And I
Mm-hmm.
always say, yes, I am. Why? Because I don't know anybody else to be. So thank you so much, Adam, for always being you, because there's nobody else to be.
Thank you. That touches, and but I can tell you straight up, me and Kerry are actually going to go and get our doctorate in mental health. We're going for it.
You go.
We're going for it.
Yes.
We're going for a doctorate.
Glad to know you. I'll be able to say I knew you when.
Exactly. Yeah.
Right. That's
That's
right.
my goal is to become a certified doctor in mental health. So there you go.
Wonderful.
I
You
love
you
it.
know you already know how I feel about that. So I'm feeling you. I'm feeling you. We are right here.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So going back to the statement I said at the start, sticks and stones may break my bones, but words can never hurt me. I
That's a
used to
lie.
believe that. It is a lie. It is, and that I used to believe it. I believe we was all programmed to believe that was the right saying, but now it's not. It's a pack of lies. I'm going to say it's bullshit. But either way,
That part.
because words can hurt you a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
So I want your views. So Cynthia, what's your views on that statement?
Ooh. First of all, I am so glad that that's that misnomer. I don't know who came up with that statement. And you remember when we were kids, when we were in school, and someone would say something mean to us, and we would go and tell the teacher, and the teacher would say, "Sticks and stones may break your bones, but words would never hurt." And we're like,
Mm-hmm.
okay. Meantime, in between time, that stuff got down in our inwards, and we found out later on down the line that every one of those mean words did hurt. So that's why we all in therapy now as adults, because of stuff people said. Not just what the kids said, but what our parents said, what our teacher said, what our counterpart said. So I am so glad. It's been several years now, because I was wondering where you were going with that, Adam, at the beginning when you said it. You said we're going to talk about it later. I'm thinking, well, I sure hope we're on the same page, because he might have to. I'm gonna say what I'm
Hey,
gonna
you ain't got a clue what I'm gonna put up with today. I could pop up with anything.
Yeah,
Oh
so
yes.
let me just say this, Andrew. When I was coming on the show, and Adam was like, "Well, what do you want to talk about?" And I said, "Well, what do you want to talk about?" And he was like, "I'm scared," because I was like, "Okay, what you mean?" Because I'm very straightforward. I shoot from the hip. I don't
Me
beat around the
too.
bush. Yeah, I don't beat around the bush. I just go and beat the bush. No point in beating
Yeah.
around. But back to what you were saying, you know that I am a woman of faith, so my basis is in the word. There is, and I'm not going to preach, but I'm going to say this. Proverbs, and we all know the book of Proverbs is the book of wisdom. Solomon wrote that book, right? And in Proverbs 18 and 21, and I'm going to quote it from the easy to read version. That's without the those and the thous and the thus and the these and the those. Check this out. Check this out. Listen, y'all. I want everybody to put your listening ear on. Listen to what Proverbs 18:21 says. I see you, Adam. See, I told you he ain't right. Okay. It says,
Boy, don't I know it.
I know you know. It says the tongue can speak words that bring life or death. Those who love to talk must be ready to accept what it brings. Let me repeat that. The tongue can speak words that bring life or death. Those who love to talk must be ready to accept what it brings. So I just wanted to focus on that first half for real right now. So the tongue can be a lethal weapon, or the tongue can speak life. Not only when you're speaking about others, but when you're speaking about yourself.
Yeah.
How many times have you said things like, my head is killing me?
Mm-hmm.
If you say something like that around me, I'm going to say, and what kind of roses would you like for your funeral since you're dying? Come on, let's be real. You know, and this is literal. This is literal. Don't tell me about being super spiritual or that. No. This is serious, people. That's why so many people are dealing with so many adverse situations because of what we say to ourselves and what we say about ourselves and what we allow others to say to us. And if someone says something to me that's off, I'm going to stop them. Let's put the brakes on. No, we're not saying that. One of my counterparts in ministry, she's an older lady, and every Sunday when we would come to church for the past several months, but it hasn't happened lately because I finally put a stop to it. She would say, I'm so cold. I don't know why I'm always so cold. I ain't got no blood. And every time she would say that, I would just cringe because I'm thinking, do you realize what you're saying? So finally, one day when I couldn't take it anymore, Andrea and Adam, because I wanted her to have some blood, I said to her, well, you probably don't have any blood because you're saying you don't have any blood. I said, so why don't we not say that? And she stopped saying it. Now, I don't know if she stopped saying it because she didn't want me to chastise her, even though she's a couple of decades my senior, or if she stopped saying it because she really thought about what I said. Because after I said it, she's never said that anymore. You know, so I'm starving to death. Are you really starving to death, or do you need to eat? You're not starving to death. Talk to the kids over in Cambodia. They can say they're starving to death. So, you know, we have to be very careful. You ain't gonna be no good. You're gonna be just like your old daddy. You're gonna be just like your old mama. Your mama wasn't no good and your daddy wasn't no good, so you ain't gonna be no good. What were you about to say, Adam? I saw the light bulb come on.
Hey, I've always got a light bulb here. I always do. It doesn't turn off. I'm even coming up with ideas in my sleep, maybe. Who knows? But anyway, probably do. But anyway, to your question, Alexander William Kinglake, that who came up with the Sticks and Stones statement in 1862.
Okay.
Wow.
Well, it's 2022, almost 2023. So, Alexander, we kicking that out the door, son.
Exactly. And the second one is, I listen to motivational speakers all the time. Les Brown, Tony Robbins, Eric Thomas. And one of them actually said, we come up with excuses because we all say we're down, we're depressed, we're rock bottom. Sometimes maybe we are. But and they feel like they don't belong on this universe anymore. They actually said, when you're feeling like that, go into a hospital, into a ward where people are fighting for their lives. Go into local streets where people are homeless and sleeping on the streets. Even children are sleeping on the streets tonight. And then look at yourself. Are you really worse off? Because to me, money, don't get me started on that, ladies, please don't. But money doesn't buy you everything. I've not got a lot of money behind me. I don't. But I see myself as rich because nice brew, access to Wi-Fi, roof over my head, shower whenever I want, clean clothes, meal on my food, plates. I'm rich.
Come on in the room. You talking good.
That's right.
I am in the room. Here we go. I don't care. But when you're feeling negative, good. Because at the end of the day, that's giving you the opportunity to rebuild yourself, refocus on your freaking self-identity, self-love. Come on.
Right.
I think you've triggered.
I call that being the lioness and going off and licking my wounds and building, like you said, build yourself back up with that self-talk that I need and get that mindset right. And
That's why I feel these videos. That's why I feel videos.
With the right self-talk, like you said, because let's be honest. I mean, we know none of us are exempt from issues. I don't care how much money you have. Adam mentioned that earlier. Money is just money. It's currency. It's how we buy and how we get things, but that doesn't have to determine your joy and if you have peace. You know? And so, like you were saying, Andrea, there are times when all of us get down and out. All of us hit low moments in our lives, but it's the self-talk, but the right self-talk, not the self-talk that says, oh, it's just so hard to get along. Oh, I just ain't gonna never amount to anything. Oh, if it ain't one thing, it's another. Oh, you know, no, I can do this. I will do this. I can turn this around. I can change my narrative. And I can do it by the words that I speak, because words are powerful. Listen to this. We are made in the image and the likeness of God. In other words, we are small, G-O-D. Don't get it twisted. You know, he's the capital G-O-D. But we were made in his likeness, in his image. He spoke the world into existence. Now, I know many people believe in evolution, and that's your business. I don't care what you believe in. I'm talking about what I believe in. I believe there was something before evolution that the evolution had to work off of. But my point is, when God said, let there be light, what happened? There was what? Light. When he said, let there be, there was. He created the world by saying, let there be. So if we are created in his likeness and in his image, and he spoke things and they happen, then we speak things and they happen, whether it's negative or positive. We are powerful. And that's why we have to be very careful what we say.
Yeah, you touched on the word light there, and I want to pick up on that. And Tiffany, if you've got any, or anyone else that's tuned in, if you've got any questions, please throw them, because we're all on fire tonight. We are.
Yeah.
Right. I used to believe there was always light at the end of the tunnel. I used to believe that. I'm hands up. I used to believe that 1,000%. Now I just feel like that's a lot of bullshit. Why I say it's a lot of bullshit, and this is from my great friend Dr. Loren Harris.
Yeah.
He's amazing. He's been on the show a few times.
Yeah, you know, he introduced us.
Yes.
Remember?
I have. I introduced you, yes. And even then, he taught me and he taught the world there is no light at the end of the tunnel, because we need to imagine we are miners. Because when we're minors, we're stood in darkness, and everywhere we're looking, the light's following us. So we are both the light and the dark.
Wow. And listen to this. Now, you sparked something else when you said about light at the end of the tunnel. Why can't the light be at the beginning of the tunnel? Why can't the light be in the middle of the tunnel? Why you got to wait to get to the end of the tunnel, Andrea, to have light?
Go on, Andrea.
Can I have light at the beginning of the tunnel before I even get in the tunnel?
Come on. Come on.
Yes.
You know,
I
that
see
is a
the
very
light.
good question. That is a very good question. I'm asking everyone here, whoever's tuned in or whether on the replay, why can't there be light at the beginning or the middle of the tunnel? Why does it have to be at the end?
We have
It's our
got
mindset.
to change. That's it. You took the words right out of my mouth. We have got to change the way that we think. Mindset. Andrea said it. We have got to. We have got to empty our brains of all of the negative talk.
Yep.
And we have got to fill it with the good stuff. Why is it so easy? And Adam literally, he takes my questions literally, so that's just fine. Why is it so easy?
We've got a question for both of you.
Why is it so easy for us to be, for both Andy and Cynthia, what was the moment in your life that you realized words we speak are important and powerful?
Andrea, I'll start with you.
My sisters, you know, I'm the eldest of four. So with my sisters, they helped me to realize, because see, I know the power of words, and I use them, and I've used them in bad ways when I was growing up with my sisters. And I would just, like you said, I come from the hip. So my sister said, my tongue is a double-edged sword. Hi, Mommy.
Mum's here.
And she said that my tongue is a double-edged sword. The things that I say and the way that I come, and then like the way people react, to me, it didn't feel good. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, I realized what, like you said, the reaction, they didn't like what I had to say, and probably not the way that I said it, because I can be pretty, I can be hard, you know, when I come.
I'll just stop a minute. Can I just stop that? You coming out with that and they're saying they don't like the way you're coming from. Well, guess what? That's their problem, not yours, son. There you go.
Absolutely, absolutely. But words hurt, and it's all in perception and how people take it. That's what I was trying to get to, and you know, through the years, I've helped my sisters understand better. It's because I love you that it probably sounds, you know, hard, but honey, love don't love nobody. We trying to survive in this life, and, you know, calling a thing and being real about it, it can be harmful, but I'm not coming malicious. There's a difference.
Do you think, obviously we'll get to your answer, Cynthia, but do you think, Andrea, that's where the statement tough love comes in?
Yes, absolutely.
You gotta be cool to be kind.
You do. I mean, I have 7 children, honey. I have to have tough love somewhere up in there, because they'd be running all over me, right? And they know I'm not the one to mess with. You know what I mean? They could call me what they want. They could call it crazy, whatever they want to call it. You know what I'm saying? And another way that I know words are important and powerful on the positive note, the real positive, is working with the youth that I work with in my community. They still reach for me even after we're done with programming, because I uplift them with the words that I say, helping them to find their life skill, that, you know, something that they're loving to do. And I might just call it out and say, you could be this, you could be that. Those words can be powerful. I've seen people's lives change and transform in a wonderful way just by uplifting them.
Yeah. Go on, Cynthia.
Well, I've always, for as long as I can remember, I've always been a very positive person, Tiffany. And when you ask the question, what was the moment in my life that I realized words that we speak are important and powerful? I remember living with my mom. My daddy had died, and so it was just me and mama and my son at the time. I had him when I was 18 years old. And it was time for rent. And she would look at me and she'd say, well, you don't look like you worried. You know, rent is due. We ain't got it in union. You don't look like you worried. And I'm like, I'm not worried. Because for me to be crying about it, like, oh, we don't have the rent money. We don't have the rent money. Instead of me flipping that and saying that money's going to come from somewhere, you know, that's the positive part of it. But to answer your question, one of the moments that really was an aha moment and a defining moment for me was when I was in my 20s and I was going to this one church, and Pastor Page was our pastor. He was this big burly guy. He had this you know, like the teddy bear guy. Oh, he was just so sweet. And he was very adamant about you speaking positively the word. And when I say the word, I'm talking about the word that God has instructed us to speak on the positive note. So this is what he would do. When you would say something that was against the word, or you would say something that was not positive, and you know, we have this statement in church, you know, I touch and agree with you, meaning, you know, if we agree, then that means that thing is going to happen. So if you were around him, Adam, you were around him, Tiffany or Andrea, and you said something that was negative, he would reach his hand to shake on it and say, let me touch and agree with you on that. And you'd be like, no, that's okay. I didn't mean it. So and he would always say, he was this big burly guy. Like I said, he would always say, the word, only the word, you know. And so that resonates in my mind even to this day. So that was a very defining moment for me. And that was like back in the 80s. I was like in my 20s at the time. I know I only look 25 now, but that was back then. But,
yes, you do. Yes.
I'm 21.
Hey, we speak
yes.
it. We speak it right. So yeah. So you have to, and I'm telling you, I'm like the word police. I'm always listening. Listening. Like I heard you say, Andrea, love don't love nobody. I'm like, what? Whoa. We talking about words now. So explain that to me. Because that like pop, because we're talking about words and what we say. We gonna have to deal with that.
Look,
Exactly.
you know, my grandmother used to say that. My mother's mother used to say that. And when I was younger, you know, I thought I was all in love at the time, you know, and I thought, she's crazy. What is she talking about? You know, I feel love, but what it means and what I've learned that it means is the word love, because we're talking about words, don't love nobody.
No.
It's people that love.
Got you.
Our hearts. It's the word doesn't love nobody is what it means.
I got you. Okay.
It's us. It's us as people. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I could love somebody, but that don't mean they love me back.
That's true.
We've got a few comments and we've got a question. We've got Stella saying, my mother told me that in the beginning, so I used to hurt back. Who hurt? We've got Trina here.
Hi,
what
Trina.
did Stella's mother tell her? What did your mother tell you, Stella? And while we're waiting for you to answer that question, let me tell you about words and hurting and coming from someone who is supposed to be a nurturer. Adam, you may not be able to relate to this. Andrea, I'm sure that you can relate to this. And Trina could probably relate to it. And I don't want to be stereotyping, but I'm just feeling my audience here. In the African American community, or in the African American community, community, whatever, race.
Yeah.
You know, it was always light skin versus dark skin. Yes. That came from that slave mentality. Because the house, you know, the house niggas were light skinned because they could be in the house. And the other ones, the field niggas, were dark skinned. They had to stay in the field. There was this thing that if you were dark skinned, something about being dark was not good and it was ugly. But if you were light skinned, then you were accepted because you were prettier. As you can see,
Mhm.
I am darker complected. And I had my youngest brother, the one who's been institutionalized for over 34, almost 35 years, is very fair skinned. He looks like a girl, really. He had very light skin, Adam. And I never will forget my mama telling me when I was a little girl, she said, you should have been the boy because you black. And Dwight should have been the girl because he's yellow.
Wow.
Wow.
Let that marinate. Don't say nothing, y'all. Just let that marinate.
Let that sink in like seasoning.
So how do you think that made me as about an 8 or 9-year-old feel? Coming from the person who's supposed to be a nurturer, and God rest her, I ain't mad at her. She ain't know no better. But imagine the damage
Mm-hmm.
that did to me, thinking that going through my whole life until I was an adult, thinking that my dark skin made me ugly.
Mm-hmm.
Honey, look at this skin. This skin is skinning.
Mm-hmm.
Ain't
Mm-hmm.
this skinning SKINNING? This is some pretty skin
Mm-hmm.
right here. But I wouldn't have said that.
I'm going to be blunt. I'm going to be blunt with this.
Mhm.
There are ugly people out there. But those ugly people is the ones that mistreat people.
Mm-hmm.
But everyone else who's treating people right, they're all beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
Because beauty comes from
Mm-hmm.
within. It ain't
Exactly.
nothing to do with your outward appearance.
Yes.
That's why there's a statement that says never judge a book by its cover.
That's right. That's
Hmm.
right. That's
Because
right.
egos get in the way of that.
I remember in middle school, and what they did is they separated all the people of culture, and that
Yeah.
means everybody. But there was more people of our culture involved, and they separated us and sent us to different middle schools. And
Yeah.
going to the middle school that I went to, the little white boys, they thought I was cool. And so we would hang out and skate together, and I had one little white girl, she loved one of them boys. And she came up to me on her skates one night and she said, Andrea, you're black. And I said, oh. So I drug her in the bathroom.
You drug her?
They thought it was going to be a fight, drug her. They thought it was going to be a fight. And we got in there. I looked in the mirror and did Macaulay Culkin on him and said, oh, I am black. Because what did she think she was telling me? And did she think that those were going to hurt me? Because I came up that black is beautiful. So she couldn't hurt me by telling me I'm black.
Yeah.
For sure.
But people, they only do what they know. I remember, as y'all can see, I have a gap. My little granddaughter was here.
My daughter does too.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
So my little granddaughter was here a couple of weeks ago, and she looked up at me. She said, "You're missing a tooth." I said, "No, I'm not. I have a gap." But I brought up the subject of the gap because that's another thing. When I was growing up, here were the 3 words that I was. I was black, gap tooth, and had a big forehead. This is what I grew up listening to, Adam. You black, gap tooth, big foreheaded girl.
Wow.
Get into this forehead. Look at all that.
It's beautiful. And my daughter has a gap that the dentist has wanted to try to close it.
Right.
When she started seeing more people with them and people telling her how beautiful she is with it and keep it, she's yes. When I talk with her today, that was the thing I thought when I saw you, but I didn't want to be rude. And you brought it up, so
Right.
I'm gonna let you
We've
know.
got a couple of questions. We've got a couple of questions, but before I do that, I want to highlight our past guests, 2 from 2 weeks ago.
Hey,
Christine Wright. Right. the reason why I'm highlighting her, because I asked her to tune in beforehand, but she was in the hospital with her mum because her mum's. I hope she's all right for me sharing this, but her mum's receiving radiotherapy.
Okay.
So us at the Mental Health Warriors, we're here to say, fight on, girl.
Send
She'll
love.
smash
Right.
through it. She'll
That's
smash
right.
through it. And we're all
Celebrations and prayers.
Mm-hmm.
we're all here for you, Christine.
Yes.
Exactly.
Nothing like a mom. Mine is no longer with me as of 11 years ago. So there's nothing like a mom. But yeah, so we really, really, and I was gonna to your point about your daughter feeling like she was feeling about her gap until people started saying it was nice and validating it. Good for her, because I didn't get that. Everybody was telling me how bad mine, you gap teeth, you old black gap tooth, so I'm like, well, okay, I'm dark, I'm gap tooth, and I got a big forehead. I just may as well just float on off the edge of the world. But I think that made me a rebel, and that's why I'm a rebel right now. That's why I'm a rebel right now.
Right, Andrea, there's a comment for your question surrounding your children as well. What are some examples of how you've encouraged your children to speak positively instead of negatively?
Well, my daughters, and I have 4 boys and 3 girls.
Wow.
So in raising them and rearing them, I wanted them to embrace one another and be good to others, no matter what. Even if they had friends that I might not have cared for what they did, I never said to my children, "Oh, you got to stay away from them." No. My thing is, I'm always trying to uplift and help. And there's a reason if someone's coming negative, you know what I'm saying? Or if they're bullying or whatever the situation may be. And, helping my children to know that no matter how cruel the world may seem out here, keeping a pure heart. Now, that's something I teach my children every day. Keeping a pure heart is going to take you further in your life. You'll be a happier person if you keep a pure heart. You will be blessed beyond belief if you keep a pure heart. I believe that with all my soul because I live it. So my children are the ones that'll stick up for you. My son saw a woman getting robbed and he went out there and held the person down till the police came and received an award, a Meritorious Conduct Award for it. And those are the teachings. And he got on television because, of course, he had an interview after doing all that. And he said these words. I would hope that anyone would jump and do this for my mother or my grandmother.
That's right.
So my children
have them do unto you, the golden rule.
And then the about the gap tooth. That's another example of uplifting my daughter, and helping her to understand that gap is the most beautiful thing, helping her know your daddy has one, your uncle on that side. It runs in the family. It doesn't have to be cosmetically changed.
Right.
Because that's you. That's who you are, and that's who you come from. So, always trying to keep my children looking on the bright side of things, even when they're having a rough time, trying to keep them on that positive side. And guess what? They're all thriving well. I only have one that still lives at home. And I think all that positivity helped prepare them for the world and for their life to be a positive thing.
Exactly.
Because again, our thoughts, our mindset is going to set the trajectory of where we go.
Yeah.
And I want them to have positive experiences.
Exactly. Right, Cynthia, your turn. Would you say that comment affected your identity in any way with how you was trapped?
Tiffany, yes, it absolutely I always thought I was ugly.
Okay.
Period. I'm just gonna be absolutely frank about it. And you know, she would do things like, she, meaning my mama, would do things like, I had the prettiest clothes ever, honey. We were poor as church mouses, but I wore the most expensive clothes. We shopped at we did, honey. She shopped at the place where the wealthy folks shop, because she had that kind of taste. But she made sure, Tiffany, that I had the prettiest clothes. I always had the prettiest clothes, because she thought I was ugly. Because I guess she thought if I had pretty dress on, it would cover the ugliness that she thought I was. And it was until one day, I was in my mid-30s. I know I only look 25 now, but I was walking out of my building, and this guy, I was coming out of my building, and he was coming down the sidewalk, and he looked at me. He said, "You are one pretty black woman." And I said, "Oh, thank you." He said, "No, He said, "You are one pretty black woman." He said, "I'm talking about your skin." He said, "It is so pretty." And, I always did have good skin, good genes. I was the adolescent that never had to worry about a pimple. My skin was always smooth, and I took it for granted. Everybody else was scrubbing and doing all that. I didn't have to do none of that. And still have been blessed to this day, to have that luxury. But I was 30 something, Tiffany, when I had this encounter with this guy. And he said that. Because when he said you're one pretty black woman, I thought he meant black as in race. Oh, thank you, Tiffany. I thought he was meaning black as in race. And he knew that that's what I thought he meant too. That's why he said, "No, you don't understand what I mean." He said, "I mean your skin." He said, "You have the most beautiful black skin." Let me tell y'all something. That was a defining moment for me, because I had never I knew that I had nice skin, but it was dark, because I had been told that my mama, that dark was ugly. So, yeah, Tiffany, that affected me for very, very, very many years. And I finally, that day in my mid-30s, I was around 36, when that dude said that was freeing. And I walked away like I was on air.
Right.
Mom answered your question, I think, too, Cynthia.
Yeah, I wanted to see what was her answer, because I wanted to know what.
She said God didn't want us to be against or hurtful to one another. That's what her mama told her when she was responding. But then she added some more stuff because of what you were talking about her skin.
Right. Wait a minute. I love the last sentence though.
Phone doesn't rub off. There you go.
Yeah, and you're absolutely right. We aren't supposed to be against or hurtful to one another, but unfortunately, in the society that we live in, we, with and this is a whole nother talk show, with racism and all of that, some of us could not help but be affected by that and respond to it. Please
share this all. Please share this.
Say it again, Adam.
People need to share this, don't they?
Yeah, this is good.
This is raw.
Yeah, because we, when you like I said to, because this thing about the power of words has just been resonating with me for weeks, and I'm gonna do another presentation in another format to some women in a group where I'm one of the group coaches and I'm volunteering my time. And the title of my presentation is, y'all remember Flip Wilson back in the day? Adam, you a baby, so you're gonna have to Google.
I wasn't here in the 80s.
Google Flip Wilson, Adam, because I know you Google folks. Google Flip Wilson. He was a comedian. And he had this famous saying,
you will be cracking up.
What you get. Yeah, that was his
right.
famous saying was, what you see is what you get. Guess what, y'all? What you see is not always what you get. But that's not what I want to focus on. What I want to say is I want to Flip's word. What you say is what you get. Think about that. What you say is what you get. If you sometimes, and me being, I'm on the other side of 60, I'm moving on up to the east side. And I feel great, but because I'm over 60, I have some over 60 feelings, pains in my body every now and then. But you know what? I don't be walking around talking about, oh, my knees hurt.
Oh, yeah.
I act like it's not there.
Look at that for a comment. What you say is what you get. Can also lead to the ultimate manifestation. There you go.
That's exactly.
Go, Christine.
Yes, Christine. Because you're putting whatever you're putting in. Some people say the universe. I say the atmosphere. Same thing. Thank you, Christine.
Hey, come on, Christine. This isn't a dating site.
Yeah.
I need to just let Christine just do her thing. Some people call it the universe. I call it the atmosphere. I call it the atmosphere, and I say whatever you put in the atmosphere is what you manifest. So we have to be so careful about what we say.
Yes.
None of us. Thank you for me. They have to thank you for themselves.
You don't.
No.
She said,
I don't think it's what said y'all. But the thing is, I'm 31, but I've been told I look older than my age.
You a baby.
No, you was a baby.
No, you don't. You a baby. 30. Child.
Thank you, Tiffany.
I haven't been 31 in so long.
I'm hitting you right on your back. I'm right on your back, Cynthia. In age.
You know what they say.
I'm right there with you.
They say, Tiffany, you know what they say? They say good black don't crack, but Shirley Caesar, she's this famous gospel singer. They say good black don't crack, but Shirley Caesar say, but it'll show sag. It might not crack, but she said a show sag. But
it'll sag on you.
It'll sag, but we ain't receiving the sag either. But so yeah, what we put out there, and yes, if you wanna say that I'm a fanatic when it comes down to what we speak, then call me a fanatic, because I believe that our words form our world. Can I say that again? I believe that our words form our world. So what do you want your world to be? And no, I'm not saying that it's osmosis and you can't sit there and cross your legs and chant, I want $1 million, I want $1 million, I want $1 million, I want $1 million, and $1 million in bank account, but it's possible. But all I'm saying is, don't be saying stuff like, oh, I'm broke. Just say you in between blessings.
I like that.
Yeah. Can I alter that? Yeah. Instead of saying I'm sick of being broke or I'm sick of being rich and all that, how about you actually say I'm grateful for actually being here today?
Thank you. Yes, absolutely.
Gratitude. Get a good old dose of gratitude in you every now and again.
That's right.
Why is it that we find it so easy to talk negatively versus talking positively? And then when somebody call you on it and tell you about speaking positive, you look at them like they're strange. Well, I'm looking at you like you're strange because you're speaking negative. How about that?
Thank you.
How about that?
I need to change my words then.
And because I'm the word police, I be checking my when I'm talking. I'm like, okay, what are you saying? What you saying? You know what? It even comes down to this. And our good friend Dr. Lauren Michaels Harris brought this to my attention. I was on a call with him, a one-on-one call with him, and he asked me a question. And I said, well, I guess it's because so and so and so and so. He said, what do you mean you guess? You don't know? I was like, okay, let me change that. And then I changed my verbiage, and then my response was matter of factly. Not I guess, but we do this. We do this. I was listening to something that he was saying earlier, and something that I saw of him. You know, if somebody asks you in the room to raise your hand, if you're whatever you are, raise your hand high. Well, don't. And that doesn't have anything to do with words. But what I'm saying is getting back to what he was saying. When he asked me a question, you know, I said, I guess. Or we say things like, well, I suppose, well, I think, well, no.
You're looking for an excuse. Excuses, which I believe excuses are the tools of the incompetence that build bridges to nothingness.
Well, that's tweetable. Say that again. Say that again.
Excuses are the tools of the incompetent that build bridges to nothingness.
I need you to post that because I want to see. Because I don't feel like writing it down. I need you to post that on your page so that I can, or in the group somewhere, because I'm gonna give you the credit the first time. I don't know where you got it from, but I'm gonna give you the credit the first time.
Me and Kerry, we used to make T-shirts for people, and we gave a T-shirt to a billionaire in Manchester, but that's where we got it from.
I love that. Drop the mic. Hold up. Drop the mic.
Don't worry, I'll repost that statement. Don't worry.
Yeah, because a lot of times we do use words as excuses.
Exactly. Yeah. So, final question for you: how important is the power of words?
You asking me?
I'm asking both of you. I'm asking everyone here tonight.
You want to go, Andrea?
You go ahead. I'll go behind you. You're our guest, so you go first.
See you later. Please share as well.
I'm gonna put this in a nutshell. How important is the power of words? The power of words is as important as the breath that you breathe.
Can I crack that on open? You put it in a nutshell. Let me crack that nutshell open
Crack it.
quick. Okay, because I'm gonna follow you on that one. Words, and this is real, they have the power, this is how powerful they are, to destroy or to build up. And when we were talking about mindset, those are words that set up that mindset in our head of what we think. And it can destroy or it can build up. That's how powerful words are.
Because they form in the mind. You said that in the very beginning, Andrea. You said that in the very beginning. So it starts here. Really, it starts here. And once it starts here, it formulates, and then it works its way down to here, and then it comes out.
Yeah.
And it manifests stuff, for sure.
Agreed. Right. Wow.
I know. Whew.
What do you think, Adam? What's your answer?
Yeah, Adam. You ain't off the hook.
Do you know what?
Adam.
I can just echo both here right now. Words are just everything. They are make or break, or they are the importance of our life. And they are the importance that influence whether we make a mistake or we transform it into an opportunity.
Mm-hmm.
But again, it's mindset.
Yeah.
That's right.
I think we've just cracked that nutshell. Do you not think?
We cracked that. We cracked that nutshell.
It
Yes.
went so fast.
No.
It did.
I was having so
Exactly.
much fun.
Words can keep us stuck or us forward.
Mm-hmm.
There you go.
Mm-hmm.
So I would just say to everyone, please pay attention to what's coming. First, what's formulating in your mind and what's coming out of your mouth.
Does it need to even pass out your mouth?
Thank you. Just go like this. If you get ready to say something and it ain't right, excuse my vernacular, go like this. That means you did it.
Exactly. Right.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to end this now.
All right.
I am. Do you think we've warmed the crowd up for Dale's, Andrea?
Yes, I think we did. I think we did. They ready.
Especially what the topic is for Dale as well.
What's this topic?
Talking all things love.
Oh.
There you go.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
Good segue.
Yeah, we primed them up for that one.
Oh, we
Yeah.
tried them. Absolutely. Right. We're going to end this now. Please share this all and we'll see you again. Bye.